Do begin with major news from Capitol Hill. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, he'll join us in a minute, just detailed a series of explosive allegations against the Biden family syndicate, including damning new details involving, Joey, the big guy himself. Now, Comer will be here for an interview in just about a moment, but here's what we are learning from his ongoing investigation. Now, this is the beginning of this investigation. This is an interim report. First, based on financial documents reviewed by his committee, it is now believed that the Biden family and their associates established over 20 apparent shell companies with no clear purpose other than to obscure what is the transfer of money, often the case to Biden family members. Now, most of the LLCs were formed during Biden's time as VP and were used to distribute, quote, over $10 million from foreign nationals to Biden family and friends. For example, now here's how payments from China ultimately ended up in the hands of the Biden family. It started at a Chinese state energy company controlled by a powerful Chinese national. That money was then filtered through at least 5 different shell corporations set up by Biden associates. Now, still, we have no idea why this foreign energy company was paying Biden and the Biden family. We don't know what they were getting in return for that money or simply expecting in return. And by the way, it's not just money. According to Comer's report, the same Chinese energy company also gave Hunter Biden a very large diamond during a meeting. Make no mistake, this was not a marriage proposal. And it wasn't just Hunter benefiting from these types of deals. Take a look.
Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden's brother, Joe Biden's brother's wife, Hunter Biden's girlfriend or Beau Biden's widow, however you wanted to write that, Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Hunter Biden's current wife, and 3 children of the president's son and the president's brother. So we're talking about a grandchild. That's odd. Most people that work hard every day's grandchild doesn't get a wire from a foreign national or anything like that.
All right, so now we have, doesn't your grandchild get a check from China? Seriously? All right, now, up to 10 Bidens received money. Pretty weird, right? Now, why was Biden's grandchild getting money from a foreign national? What work were they doing and performing, or what service were they performing? Why was Beau Biden's widow, who was also Hunter Biden's girlfriend, getting money from foreign nationals? She is a school counselor, and it's not just China. Here's an allegation about money from Romania. Take a look.
Hunter Biden and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with the Romanian national who was under investigation for and later convicted of corruption in Romania. The Bidens received over $1 million for the deal. And 16 of the 17 payments to their associates' account that funneled the Biden's money occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. In fact, the money stops flowing from the Romanian national soon after Joe Biden leaves the vice presidency. This is a pattern of influence peddling.
All right, so when Biden left office, the money stopped flowing. Oh, what a shocking coincidence. Anyway, just so we're very clear, when Biden was vice president, his family was raking in millions and millions of dollars from countries where Biden was the point person for U.S. policy. We're not talking about England and France. This was money flowing from some of the most corrupt places on the planet: Eastern Europe, Russia, Kazakhstan, Romania, China, and of course, we all know about Ukraine. Fire the prosecutor or you're not getting $1 billion. You have 6 hours to do it. And son of a bee, they fired the prosecutor investigating his son, Hunter Biden, who had no experience with Ukraine, oil, energy, gas at all whatsoever, but he's getting paid a fortune. That's a good gig if you can get it. Now, it wasn't coming directly to Hunter. The funds were passed through one LLC or shell corporation after another. So here are 2 obvious questions. If this was a legitimate business, why would you funnel money through a shell corporation? And what were the Bidens actually selling? What goods were they offering? What services did they provide? Now, at the very least, this reeks of bribery, racketeering, corruption, influence peddling at the highest levels. We need answers to all of these questions. If Joe Biden was named Donald Trump, well, you better believe he would be the target of a very serious federal investigation. But the DOJ and the FBI just don't seem interested. I wonder why. In fact, breaking today, the FBI defied a legally binding subpoena from James Comer and, of course, Senator Grassley. They refused to hand over a document detailing what they believe to be a credible bribery accusation against Joe Biden, the then vice president, from his time as vice president. And keep in mind, this is not a confidential document. Now, just to keep track, we have at least one documented allegation of bribery against Joe Biden from what they're calling a credible whistleblower source, according to James Comer and Charles Grassley. Now, we have bank records, we have business records, we have emails from Hunter's laptop about him whining and complaining about giving half his income to Pops. We have an email discussing the big guy getting 10%. Tony Bobolinsky had said, well, the big guy, that's Joe Biden. And, of course, Hunter whining about having to pay for Joe's home repairs. Now, there, of course, are pictures of Joe, Hunter, and Hunter's business associates. At least one of those business associates was offered to cooperate with the FBI. And today, new bombshell allegations from James Comer's investigation. Can you guess what the media mob was interested in today? The federal indictment of first-term Republican congressman. He happens to be my congressman. How lucky am I? George Santos. Anyway, so while Biden's DOJ is continuing their years-long struggle on whether or not to charge Hunter, well, it only took them a few months to bring charges against a freshman congressman over a few $1,000s in alleged fraud. Do we have a two-tier justice system? Now, this was fake news CNN's homepage today. Take a close look at that. You see anything about Comer's presser? You do not. And look at your screen. Here is how the media mob reacted to Congressman Santos as he's leaving the courthouse. You have dozens and dozens of reporters chasing after a low-level freshman lawmaker. It was a media frenzy, shouting questions surrounding him at the presser and chasing him straight to his car. So when is the last time you saw this person, Hunter Biden, for example? You ever see the media act that way with Hunter, or Joe for that matter? And get this, neither fake news CNN nor MSDNC, neither one of them bothered to play the Comer press conference live this morning, but they both took the Santos presser in full. Now think about this. You have the president of this great country, the United States, has been credibly accused of corruption. The media mob doesn't care. He's in the media mob protection program. They're more interested in a sketchy first-term congressman with a R beside his name. Now, tonight it's clear. America needs answers. Did Joe Biden sell out our country to our enemies for personal profit for either himself or his family? Because if he did, the media mob, the DOJ, high-ranking members of the FBI and the CIA, and the oh-so-pious Democrats in Congress, they don't seem to care less. All because Joe has a D next to his name. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.